Cinema Rolls Podcast.
Welcome to the Cinema Rolls Podcast. I'm not going to do catchphrase this time. You guys get the point. Today we will be talking about Lilo and Stitch, the live action. Oh, nice, Eric. You got Stitch with you right now. Is that like a newer plushie? It looks like the one from the movie.
Yeah, this is the one they were selling at AMC. It's a popcorn.
Oh, it's not a plush.
Yeah, it's fuzzy. It's like has felt on it.
Oh, okay.
Top comes off. Put your drink in there.
Wow.
And popcorn goes in there.
Insane. Where do you keep all these popcorn buckets, Eric?
I don't know. This is Lolly's. This is going home with her. So.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
So this movie was directed by Dean Fletcher Camp, and it was written by Chris. Dang, that's a Hawaiian ass last name. Chris, I'm gonna butcher the fuck out of this. Chris Kekaniokalani, right? And he has two last names, so the second last name is Bright. Mike Van Weiss, or Weiss, Waes. And then Chris Sanders, those are the writers. And it stars Maya Keoloa. I think that's how you say your first name, Maya. And Sydney Agudong and Chris Sanders. Yeah, so let's get into it.
Right.
You want to... Oh, yeah, I didn't even acknowledge the fact that I'm wearing this crazy hat.
Okay.
I didn't have anything Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
So I just put my Disney stuff on. I'm wearing my Toy Story shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I made it. I printed that on there myself.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, this vintage Disneyland hat that I think we got when I went to Disneyland when I was like 2
Yeah.
or 1.
2. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually wore this to Disney World, and the people that worked there were like, whoa, that hat is crazy. Like, they were really surprised by it.
Awesome. Yeah, I wore my Frozen shirt. I don't know if you can.
Oh, nice. It's like a Colorado Frozen shirt?
Yeah, so the Broadway show, they actually premiered it here in Denver. So I went and saw that and got the shirt there. So it's 5280. I know it's backwards on the screen, but a lot of people, when they see it, they don't know what it's saying. Like, I had a manager ask, like, what does that say? Friend Zone 5280? And I was like, it might as well. I've been friend zone in Denver, so.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But no, it's Frozen. It was a cool show, too. But we're here with Stitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. You go first, Eric.
I go first.
With your movie review. Yeah, you always go first, I feel like. So we might as well just keep it going that way.
All right, that's fair. I liked the movie. I don't know how you like or what you think about it, but I know I've talked to some people that weren't too happy with it. They changed too much from the original. They say it missed the mark. I don't agree. I feel like it hit the mark. It told the story. It changed things for sure. Like, some characters aren't in it. New characters are in it. But overall, I think it was a pretty good movie. Definitely hit you in the feels a few times. Lolly said she cried during it.
No way, Lolly cried?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right? No, I enjoyed it a lot, actually.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
How'd you feel about it?
Well, Eric, I think this is going to be the first episode where you and I differ. And honestly, it was pretty okay. But
yeah,
that's my problem when it comes to these live action things. It's like, why remake something that's honestly kind of perfect already? The animated movie is fucking awesome. It's so good. And then they're going to remake a live action thing just to have it be mediocre, and it's never going to be as good as the original, and I was trying really hard to judge it without, looking back at the original and just kind of judging it as its own standalone thing. But it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to, because like they're remaking a movie. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't like. I think that it was okay. It was very here, for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, but the little girl was a really good actor. I think she did really good. She was very cute, which I think helps with the cuteness factor of that whole story, because that story is very cute. And Stitch is, of course, super cute. He's the only cute alien in the movie. Everybody else is ugly as dog shit.
Waddle?
Pleakley was so hard to look at. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Even Arya was like, that guy's ugly, yo. Like, what? Like, yeah, and actually, I didn't mind them changing into humans. I kind of understood why they did it, because, like, in the animated film, it kind of works to, like, kind of make them go incognito and, like, make them, like, give them disguises and shit. Yeah. But, like, in real life, if, like, crazy aliens that look like that try to disguise themselves as humans, it wouldn't work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Someone's gonna notice that this guy has, like, 4 legs flopping around on the ground,
Yeah.
And honestly, some of the emotional. It's thundering over here.
It's thundering over there.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I need to watch a scary movie. But yeah, some of the emotional context in it, to me, didn't hit that hard. Like, there was some parts that did. Like, I think towards the end when they're saving Stitch. I think that that was the hardest, like the most emotional impact it had on me. Yeah. Arya didn't cry. I think Natalie teared up a little bit. Arya never cries though. My daughter, like she literally, I don't think I've seen her. I think actually I might have seen her almost cry 1 or 2 times in a movie. And one of them was Land Before Time. And it's not the part you're thinking about. It's not the part where his mom dies or whatever, and he's like looking for his mom and he sees the shadow. Oh, so sad. And then you get the tree stars. But she cried at the part where the T-Rex died.
T-Rexes are cool. It's sad.
And that part is a little sad, because he takes the little pterodactyl down with him. I forget the pterodactyl's name.
Petrie?
Petrie. He takes Petrie down with him, and all the characters think that Petrie died. Yeah. Right? And I see Arya tearing up, and she goes, and the characters are like, poor Petrie. They're like mourning him already. Poor Petrie. And Arya goes, poor T-Rex. And I was like, what the fuck? It was like Barney and the Karate Kid. He was like cheering on the wrong character, Yeah. But yeah, the emotional impact of the stories, I feel like it wasn't as impactful as the animated movie. We watched the animated movie the day before, and I almost cried at like 3 parts in that movie, and it's so good. I think the reason why I dislike this movie so much is because the original is so good. And this one just doesn't live up to that, and it's hard to. It's hard, and that's my point. Is like, why make a live action if it's gonna be mediocre, and it's never gonna be as good as the animated one, and it can't be as good as the animated one, because it's like the same reason why all these live action anime never work out. Mm-hmm. It's a different medium, and you could do different things with it, and trying to transfer it into live action doesn't transfer well. With cartoons and animated stuff, you can have something be really emotionally impactful and at the same time have like silly gags in it, and it works. Yeah. You do that in live action, especially with the anime comedy type. The anime has a very specific type of comedy. You try to transfer that, it doesn't work. It comes off corny. It comes off silly. It comes off kind of like annoying, childish. And there was things in this movie I thought were kind of cute, like the little Western shootout thing that they had with the, and then that was cute. They had cute moments, and when Lilo and Stitch they touched their nose together, I was like, oh, that's cute. So there are things I liked about it, but it just I don't know. I don't want to be too redundant or keep repeating myself. It's not the animated film for me. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I watched the animated film on Friday, I believe it was. And I like that film. Um, I think I was 13 when it came out. So I didn't watch it as much. I was, getting a little older. Wasn't really watching, cartoons and Disney as much. But I remember you and Mariah watched it pretty often. Um,
yeah,
and
we were like
I
the
like,
prime age for it.
yeah, but I like Stitch a lot. I like the original. Um, and I think I have a thing for alien best friend movies because I love E.T. E.T.'s one of
ET is so
my
good too.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, this movie, the live action, uh, first they brought back some of the actors from the original movie. So
I noticed that. That was cool.
the new social worker who is Bubbles isn't a social worker in this movie. And he goes undercover as one later, but yeah, the new one that was the original voice of Nani,
Mhm.
and then their neighbor in this one has a big role. I don't think it's a brand new character. That was the old lady from the
The
original.
old lady,
Yeah,
yeah, at the store, yeah. Was she like couldn't hear her?
yeah, she
She was like it's hard of hearing, yeah.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, I'm here for the job. She's like, no, I can't talk right now. I'm waiting for
Yeah.
someone to respond to my ad. Like,
Yeah, she's like, that's what I'm here for. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool, and then obviously, guy did Stitch came back,
Mhm.
um, and yeah, the little girl she did great as Lilo. I liked the group played Nani as well.
She's without being super weird, she's super beautiful.
Nani,
Yeah.
yeah, she's very pretty.
The whole movie, I was like, wow. Sometimes I would like just zone out, like, wow, this girl's gorgeous.
Yeah. Um, what I liked about it, like Nani, she wanted to be a marine biologist. She was a surfer, did all this training. They like talk about it. She shows. I know Natalie had said she didn't like that they left out the ugly duckling like part of the movie, which was good in the original. I'm not knocking that, but in this one, instead, she shows Stitch the photo album, right, of her family, of her sister, and the stuff she went through in training, and then it pays that off later when Stitch almost, drowns, and Nani's the one to save him because she goes to pick him up. He's because of the water. He's now dense. Like I guess that has the water has that effect on him, which I never got in the original when I first watched it.
They briefly mention it in the first one, right? But he's like landing on Earth,
Yeah,
and that's it. That's like
yeah,
the only time that
yeah,
pretty much they just said he like and that's why in that one scene where he's like drowning and they Jumbo pulls him down.
yeah,
That's like kind of the only like reference to them mentioning it. But
yeah. But yeah, the Nani has to like go down and save him, and also like Nani didn't like care for him so much. She didn't like she because Stitch was trying to like live, and he's holding on to Lilo, and that ultimately is weighing her down. So when she saves Lilo, she kicks Stitch. Does that in the animated film and in this one. Um, but in the animated film, Stitch almost drowns the first time, and in this one, Lilo almost drowns, but they save her. Everything's fine. And then
yeah,
Stitch almost drowns again at the end of the movie. And yeah, that's when Nani goes. Then she's holding him, and she literally walks to like the ocean floor to get him back to the surface. Which I thought that was cool. It paid that off. It established that like people are upset that they got rid of some characters or they diminished other characters' roles, but they um, put that into establishing and you know building in other characters like Nami.
yeah,
And another thing, I know people were upset that in the original Nani was trying to keep her family together. Her little family was just her and her sister, and now Stitch. Um, and so she doesn't want to put her into the system, but in this movie, she does ultimately do that, but um, it, Leela goes to the neighbor, and Leela wants her sister to go to school to better herself. And her neighbor, because they establish her, is a part of their family, of their Ohana. So I don't feel like she's abandoning her like other people. I think may feel that way about this movie. I think they have a larger Ohana in this movie, and it works. You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I remember telling Natalie too after we watched it. I was like, I will say I did like that payoff with Nani saving Stitch and like having to like kind of like how she used to train, like holding the rocks in the water, which also reminded me of our cousins Chewy, Elias, and Ish. Because I remember when we were younger, we used to go to the mountains and we would play this game called Rocky. And what we would do is we find the biggest rock we could find, and we would walk out into the middle of the lake as far as we could go. Yeah, see, kids, that's what we used to do before tablets and phones. Okay,
yeah. So
we try to drown ourselves. No, that was the one thing I was like, that was a nice little payoff, and that was the only time I got kind of emotional.
Yeah.
But I don't like that they took out the ugly duckling in the story. I will say this movie feels like it's a lot like it's for Nani. It's like Nani's story. You know, it shows more of her struggle, and it shows more of her trying to succeed and keep the family together, and that's cool. That's cool and all, but in the original, right, Stitch is named Stitch because he stitches the family back together, right? And Lilo and Nani, they're slowly kind of drifting apart and they're trying really hard to stay together. And Lilo names Stitch Stitch because she thinks Stitch is the one that's going to save their family. It's going to make them whole again.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, it was just like, oh, Stitch rips like some things, like, oh, Nani stitch it up. Oh, we Stitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so much subtext in the original film. I think it goes over a lot of people's heads. Like the fact that Lilo mentions in the original film that her parents died pretty much in a car accident. She said they went out for a drive and it was raining, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why she tries to control the weather by feeding Pudge, that fish. Yeah. She feeds Pudge because in her head, she thinks if she can control the weather, she'll stop bad things from happening, and she'll stop bad things from happening to other people, from like maybe being in the same situation she was in, right? That's so cute. You know, yeah. A child's brain is so pure, so innocent. That's so sweet. And yeah, they have that in this movie, but there's no explanation as to why. And in the animated film, they don't really explain it either, but they show you.
They show you, yeah.
And if you like the film enough to watch it multiple times, you can probably pick up on it, and that's beautiful. I love movies like that.
Yeah.
Let me pull up my notes. I wrote like a lot more things down. I didn't like that they took out Gantu either. I think Gantu was a really cool character.
Gantu was a cool character.
Yeah, and I don't like the fact that they made Jumba the bad guy, because in the original movie he loves Stitch. That's his creation. That's his little Frankenstein. You know what I mean? But you know, his little cute and cuddly Frankenstein. Yeah. And when he finds out that Stitch does have the capacity to love and does have the capacity to control his insanity, he's not mad about it. He's fascinated by it.
Yeah, he's a scientist.
Yeah, you know, he's curious about this little monster he created, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't like that they made him the bad guy.
I do think Zach Galifianakis was the wrong choice for him.
I agree. His voice didn't fit. I like Zach Galifianakis. It didn't. Me too. Yeah.
It doesn't work. And maybe they didn't want to do like a weird like Eastern European Russian accent, but they didn't have to get Zach Galifianakis just being boring. You know, like normally he's funny. He's a funny guy, but it's just
he didn't do anything really funny in this movie at all. Yeah.
No. I mean, funny things happened to him. That it.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, this one felt like it was a Disney Channel movie with the budget high enough to afford CG characters.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that's what happened. Is it was supposed to originally go straight to Disney Plus. It wasn't supposed to be in theaters. So I think that's part of why like some things were cut from it, because they didn't really have the budget to have like another CGI character.
Interesting. That makes sense. That would make sense. The budget wasn't high enough. Yeah, and then in the original movie, I like too that Nani. They don't tell you this, but Nani, she had this dream of being like maybe a pro surfer. She has all these trophies in her room in the original movie, but they don't say nothing about it.
Mhm.
They don't say nothing about it in the original movie. That's for you to kind of like see. And she also has a Mulan poster in her room. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
It's a little Easter egg. And it's subtextual. All these in the animated movie is subtextual. It doesn't tell you, it shows you, and that's beautiful. And this one, it's so like on the nose. It's so like it's telling you every all the subtextual stuff that was in the animated film. They're telling you in this one, you know. And I really don't like that they take the ugly duckling thing out because that's such a big part of Stitch's story. The movie's about Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah.
It's not about Nani. Sorry, Nani. It's about Lilo and Stitch, and that's a big part of his story. He doesn't have a family. He has a found family, right?
Yeah.
That speech at the end of the movie. It's so impactful in the animated one because of the things that it shows you he goes throughout the movie.
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, he's chaotic, and then Lilo's trying to calm him down. He sees this that she has love from her sister, and he doesn't have that. And then he sees this ugly duckling story, and he's like, "Oh, what's going on with this kid right here? Like, he looks like me, all sad and stuff by himself." And she's like, "Oh, that's the ugly duckling." And then he resonates with the story. And then when he leaves Lilo and Nani, because he realizes he's like causing a lot of problems in their life, because David, right? That's
yeah.
David, right?
David.
He tells him in the animated film, he's like, "No, I really had the chance. They really think they had a chance." And then you came along, and then that's when Stitch just like puts it together, and he's like, "Oh, you going?" And he leaves, and then he's in that scene where he's like, "I'm lost." Yo, that's not it. That scene is so sad. That's one of those scenes where I cry.
Yeah.
And that's not in this movie. And it's in it, but it's not like it's not as impactful because they took out the duckling thing.
Yeah.
So then you see the ugly duckling saying, "I'm lost" in the book, and then you see Stitch actually lost without any family, and he's like, "I'm lost." It hits harder. And then the speech at the end, when he's like, "This is my family. It's small and it's broken." He's repeating something that Lilo told them earlier in the movie. And in this movie, they don't have that either. In the animated film, Lilo shows him the picture, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, we're a broken family,"
Yeah.
And so he now understands what a broken family. He now understands what a family is. He understands what a broken family is. So at the end of the movie, when he's like, "This is my family. It's small and it's broken, but it's still good," Oh my God! And he's like, "I found them." He's like, "That's his found family."
Yeah.
Jesus, so sad, so impactful. And this one, they don't have they took out those things that set that up.
Mm-hmm.
So when he tells the speech at the end, it doesn't hit as hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Cobra Bubbles.
Yeah.
I think the only reason they put the other inspector in there was just to have one of the old actors.
Yeah.
There's no other reason. That's why she did. Yeah, it wasn't
cool, but it wasn't necessary.
I liked her being in it. It was cool to hear her voice in it and be like, "Oh, cool." But I think that's why they did it. That they wanted people to be like, "Oh, look, we brought back other people." Just like how they do in all these reboots, they bring out like the old actors.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they did it. But Cobra Bubbles, I like his story, and they don't really tell you this in the animated movie either. But I mean, they kind of do. At the end, the lady, the head of the Galactic Federation or whatever, Intergalactic Federation, she recognizes Cobra Bubbles, and she's like, "You look familiar." And he's like, "Yeah, I talked to you guys back in the 70s." She's like, "You had hair back then," And he's like, "Yeah, I convinced them that mosquitoes were an endangered species, so they wouldn't kill us." So he saved the world in the 70s, and then it makes sense as to why Pleakley's obsessed with mosquitoes. Because he convinced them that they're really important and endangered.
Yeah, I really wish they had kept that in. Like, they didn't need to reveal it until she got there on the beach and could have recognized him.
It could have still worked.
They didn't do it. And I was like, why not keep it?
It's almost as if they didn't understand the original movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I liked about this movie is, Lilo, because it's about Ohana. Both movies, means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. But Lilo and Nani were left behind. Unfortunately, their parents passed away,
Yeah.
and they're all that's left. And then Stitch, he was created. He doesn't have a family. He's just on his own. And Lilo's acting out because of situation at home and what happened with her family. Stitch is just who he is. He's made for destruction. And so they do bad things, but they're not bad people. And that's
Mhm.
like the theme throughout. And that's something Lilo tells him. And then that's what he also mentions at the end in the speech. It's like, just because sometimes you may do bad things doesn't mean you're a bad person. His family's broken, but it's still good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cute. Yeah, I like seeing them do the rowdy stuff together. That was really cute.
Yeah. Yeah, the water gun fight was fun.
Yeah. Don't they have a little payoff at the end too with it? Because they set it up where they're like not Nani's job, and then I think they kind of do a little callback towards the end. I think I forget what part though.
I don't remember.
I want to say like during the climax, there's a little callback to the little Western joke. Yeah, I don't know. What would you rate it, Eric?
My rating, I would say, is an 8. I really enjoyed it.
Wow.
It changed things, but it was still good. Still got the point across. It wasn't a perfect movie, but it wasn't bad. I enjoyed it, and it introduces these characters to a new group of kids who are going to grow up and love Stitch. It's cool.
Yeah, and it's I feel like I fall into that trap. Not really a trap, but I fall into that all the time. When I go see movies with Arya, because I mean she's young and she hasn't really developed any kind of media literacy. So anything she sees that has somewhat captured her attention, she's like, "That was dope,"
Yeah.
So like we saw Blue Beetle together. Everybody hated that movie.
I like
And
that.
she liked it a lot. And I think it was for her, it was just like there was a Mexican superhero.
Yeah.
And she was able to relate to that. And they had like references to Selena in it and stuff. And she liked that, So when I watched it with her, she liked it so much, she made me like it. You know what I mean? And then looking back at it, I was like, yeah, it really wasn't the best movie,
No.
but it was okay,
you know. And had that movie come out when I was a kid, that would have been awesome.
I think I would have loved it when I was a kid. Yeah. So it does suck sometimes judging kids' movies and kids' media because like it is made for kids. So like those like goofy hacky jokes like they're not for you. You know what I mean? They're to make the kids laugh. And I will say Ari did laugh at a lot of like silly jokes.
Yeah.
So if that's the point, to make the kids laugh and have a good time, then they did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I think I'm gonna give it a 5, and I'm being nice. I think.
Yeah.
It's just never gonna be the animated film for me, And the animated film's so beautiful. It's done so well. The backgrounds are beautiful. It feels like a postcard. I will say that there was some kind of a parallel there with this one because the original movie, all the backgrounds feel like a old Hawaiian postcard, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the vibes they're going for. And in this one, it kind of feels like a commercial for Honolulu. You know what I mean? Like a vacation ad.
Yeah. Well, there's all those scenes at the resort too. So.
Yeah, so it kind of there's a weird parallel there, but I will say that this version isn't to me as appealing.
Yeah. Well, it's more commercial than look at this beautiful paradise.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think those are all my gripes. But actually, one of my instructors, while I was in school, he worked on the original movie.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know what scenes and stuff he animated on. I know he worked on it. Um, Honestly, I didn't like the guy that much, to be quite honest. He was kind of an asshole. And it was like the first animation class I had, so I like sucked. I was like really bad. So he had a lot of, you know, judgy critiques for me, which, I mean, that's his job. But
Yeah,
when you're on the receiving end of bad critiques, it's never fun.
you're right. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Also the speaking, we brought up Milan earlier. I worked with the director of that movie on a project I'm not allowed to talk about, which I got to reach out to them because I worked on that project like 2 years ago. Let me talk about it. You know what I mean?
has it just not come out yet? It's in like, I guess
It's
you can't
yeah.
say
Well,
much, but
I worked on the pre-visualization, and the previs is. I mean, it depends on what stage you're at if you're working for a studio. In this case, I wasn't working for a studio. I was working
freelance.
for it was I was an intern. And it was an intern for like a studio that my school was trying to start up, and they had a connection with Barry. I think his name's Barry Cook. I think that's his name. It's been a while. I feel bad that I forgot his name. Yeah, Barry Cook. Um, they had a connection with him, and he was trying to make a movie, and the studio that hired me as an intern, they're making a previs for him, and what it is just like a small animatic to show a studio that pitched like to pitch a studio like a movie to a studio,
Okay.
and if the studio picks it up, then cool, you got your greenlit for a movie, pretty much. You know what I mean? And I don't think it ever got picked up. So yeah, so I don't know if I'm ever going to be allowed to talk about it, but it was cool to work with them. And I think if I reached out to the right people and if he had time, he probably could come on the podcast, to be quite honest.
That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, you're like, I give it I was like, I give it a 5 and I'm being nice. Yeah, I think I just have a big disdain for this like live action bullshit that they do.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is, exactly that. But I try not to judge it, too harshly or compare it too much to the original. Like, yeah, I did watch the original before, but I hadn't seen it in years. Um, and the thing is, like, it's never going to be the original, whether it's an an old animated film, whether it's just an older film, if it's a book, TV show, a video game, it's never going to be what it was. It's going to be something
Yeah,
different. Because if it's going to be exactly what that was, what's the point of you making it? You already have that. You can go back and
yeah,
watch that. You know.
yeah. I feel that, but that's exactly my point, though. It's like, why even make them? And the only reason to make them is to one, make a quick buck,
Yeah.
and two, keep their IP relevant.
Yeah.
So they have an excuse to keep selling the merch,
Yeah.
which I'm assuming is
like he's huge. Like people love Stitch. There's so much Stitch merch. It was
ton.
supposed to go straight to Disney Plus, so it's probably didn't have a big budget putting in theaters. They're just going to give them.
Yeah, yeah. So from a business standpoint, I guess it makes sense. You know what I mean? But like, come on, bro. Like, anytime art gets super, corporated, it's like it's just not good. It just feels like it's just coming out of a factory. You know what I mean? It feels like McDonald's of film.
You know what's something I like? I was thinking of because I'm looking at the box right here. It is Scott Pilgrim, the TV show they did on Netflix. Because they didn't show you
I really
a
like
whole
the show.
lot. They didn't show you a whole lot in the trailers for the show. So like we didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if it's going to be just like a straight adaptation of the books or what. But like I would have liked that because I read all the books and the movie obviously leaves a lot out. But the fact that they went a completely different route and just did a whole new story but with all the same characters, was great. I loved it because it's not a straight adaptation. It's a whole new thing, and you get more of the characters from the book, and it was just great. I love that show so much.
I loved it a lot too. It was really good. I remember watching it, and you were ahead of me when you were watching it, and
Yeah.
I think I was like maybe 4 or 5 episodes deep, and I was like, "Yo, are they like shitting on the old one? Like, what is happening? They're like remaking the old one and shitting on it at the same time. Are they just like parodizing? Is that the right word? Is that a word? Parodizing? Like they're creating a parody of
Yeah.
they're creating a parody of the original film. I was like, what's going on? And then the twist happened, and I was like, oh snap! I like this. This is a good twist.
Yeah.
This is a cool concept. Yeah, I really like that show. I actually kind of want to watch it again because I only watched it the one time, so I kind of feel like it needs a rewatch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great show. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't, first off, you haven't seen Scott Pilgrim, I don't know what your problem is. Go
Yeah,
watch that
Natalie.
movie. Go watch that movie, read the books, play the video game.
It's all great. It's
all great.
I don't think I've interacted with a piece of Scott Pilgrim like media that I didn't enjoy. It was all good.
Yeah, it's all great.
Yeah. um. So I feel like I had something to say about. Oh, Scott Pilgrim was up for an award at the Crunchyroll Awards. They didn't win, but they were nominated. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that the book is like a manga, but different, because it doesn't. You don't read it backwards like you would. It's still right, but it's the same size and everything. It's cool.
Feels like Canadian manga.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude's name is Brian Lee O'Malley, which I think is such a funny name.
Crazy name, right? Like,
yeah,
and he doesn't.
He's like an Asian guy.
Yeah, he doesn't look Irish at all. You assume by a name like that, he's like Irish ass motherfucker. No, and he's Canadian, so he's like, what is happening? What's going on? I feel like his whole identity is a perfect like a materialization of his actual stories because it's just like a conglomerate of a bunch of things,
Yeah.
It's funny. But anyways, you want to move on to the next section?
Sure. What's the next section? What are we doing?
Recommendations, but go watch the original and Lilo and Stitch if you haven't watched it in a long time or if you've never seen it, because it's way better than this one. First of all, and second of all, it's a classic.
It is. Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why all this Stitch stuff is still around. There's a reason why people love it.
Yeah, I watched the Lilo and Stitch show too when it was coming out, and that actually was pretty cool too. I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty cool show.
Yeah, I don't know if Lolly's watched the show. She at least knows of that girl like Stitch Angel. Is that in the show or is that from the sequel?
That's in the show. Yeah.
Yeah. So she likes her the show because she's experiment 626, right?
Yeah. So 625, I think, is in there in the show.
And so they introduce all the other like experiments before him, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is cool. It's a cool concept. It makes it easy for a show because each episode you have a new experiment. So
it is fun. And then there's a Disney Channel game where you could create your own experiment. There's cool. You could like add different things and then like you pop up and you could like put them in different backgrounds, like a lava background or like a kitchen background. Yeah. And there's another game where 65 had to catch sandwich ingredients.
Oh, nice.
That was fun.
Sounds fun.
Those were the good old days.
Yeah. My recommendation would be what I said at the start, E.T.
E.T.
Alien, best friend. And also like there's some parallels because Elliot, his dad left his mom, right? So like he has a broken family. He meets this alien. They become best friends. But E.T. ultimately leaves, which is sad. But good, because he wanted to go home. He needed to go home. Couldn't be here on Earth.
Yeah. E.T. is so good. I remember Ari asked me not that long ago, she's like, "Can we go treat E.T. again?" I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, it's been a while since I watched it. I was like, yeah, I'm down. Let's do it.
I love that ride. I hope they never get rid of it at Universal.
Same. I'm going to take this hat off because it's hurting my head. Oh, jeez. put on a more comfy hat. But my hair looks crazy.
Um, but is there any remake or live action adaptation that you would recommend?
I like the Alice in Wonderland one. And to be honest, that's actually what kickstarted all these live action ideas. Tim Burton directed the Alice in Wonderland movie, and it was a fucking hit, yo. And then after that, they're like, "Oh, we could just keep making money off these things," and so he started also. Thanks a lot, Tim Burton.
Was it Alice in Wonderland? I thought it was Cinderella. I don't know which one came out first.
I think there's a lot of live action Cinderellas, and I don't know if
there are, but
I don't know if all of them were associated with Disney. I think most of them weren't.
The one with Helen Bonham Carter as the fairy godmother, that was Disney like branded Cinderella. Don't know when it came out. I thought it was the first, but I could be wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just know that Alice in Wonderland's success was, I think, the reason why they started pumping these things out.
I think Alice in Wonderland was good. Jungle Book, I think, was good.
I actually like Jungle Book a lot too.
Yeah.
John Favreau was associated with that film, no?
He directed it, I'm pretty sure.
That's probably what's good.
Yeah. Scarlett Johansson was it Ka, the snake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
good film.
What's his name? Christopher Walken was the orangutan.
Yeah. King Louis, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. I actually don't mind the Beauty and the Beast one either.
Really? I thought it was okay.
I agree, it's okay, but like most of the live actions I hate, you know what I mean? So like that was one I was like, this is okay.
You know what I don't like about these live actions? Like I think it's cool, this thing that they do, but it never is as good as it could have been. Is that like the princes get a song? So the Beast, or I think his name is Prince Adam, he gets a song in the live action Beauty and the Beast. Prince Eric gets a song in The Little Mermaid, which I actually like the live action Little Mermaid. But those songs aren't as good. So I don't know if they just got someone else to write the song than whoever worked on the originals, but they're not as good. They don't hit like the songs from the original movies do, you know?
I actually didn't see the live action Little Mermaid, but I did see bits and pieces of it when I was at Natalie's aunt's house. They were watching it.
Mm-hmm.
And Aquafina, you know, I don't mind her at all. But like,
was it
as the seagull?
Yeah,
I forget his name.
Scuttle? Is it Scuttle?
Terrible choice, yo. She worked well with the dragon and Raya. I thought she did great with Raya. But as a seagull, oh my god! And then they gave her a song. It's like, what are you doing?
She's rapping.
You're just piling dog shit on dog shit. Stop doing that, you know? Jesus. But yeah, and when Lion King first came out, I actually don't mind Lion King either, the live action. I mean, I know a lot of people hate it. I think when I went to go see it, yeah, when I went to go see it, I wanted to go see it by myself, and there was a bunch of kids in the movie theater, and I saw them like weeping at Mufasa's death, and I remember when I was a kid, Lion King was like my fucking movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it actually propelled my intelligence a bit because it forced me to learn how to work the VCR at like 1.5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved that movie, and seeing all these kids kind of appreciate a story that I really love, made me kind of love it a little more, and which is kind of what we were talking about earlier. But again, it's just not the animated movie, you know?
Right.
And I think the biggest difference in that movie is the composition, the lighting, the color palettes, the color grading.
Yeah.
In the live action, it just feels like you're on the savannah. It just feels like you're there with them, which is cool and all, you know?
Yeah.
But in the animated movie, oh my god, yo, when Scar kills Mufasa, they made sure you felt that shit. Like Scar, it's like that slow zoom into Scar as he's like whispering in Mufasa's ear. Everything's orange and red, and it has that like fear, that feel of like fear and doom, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh. And then when he's singing his song, it's like all green. It feels evil as fuck, like they're plotting shit, you know?
And they're like little Nazis.
Yeah, you know, they cut that out. Come on, bro. Leave it in. Leave it in.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So you just don't get that same feel. It's just never gonna hit as hard, you know?
Right. Yeah. So, uh, listeners, Josh loved Lion King. I don't know how old he was when he was doing this. He was like a little baby. Like I don't even know if he could like officially walk yet. In the middle of the night, he would get up. He'd pull the drawer out, which was in front of the TV, so that like our TV sat on like this drawer, like kind of like an entertainment set, but also like it had our clothes and stuff in it. He pull the drawer out, take all the stuff out, sit in the drawer, put in the Lion King, watch it there in the middle of the night, and then every time Mufasa dies, like he was hoping Mufasa would not die. He would scream and yell at the TV, trying hoping Mufasa would hear him. And then the stampede happens, you know, and he's telling Simba to run. And he's hoping Simba would get free. Like he was invested in this, and he did it, I think, nightly, hoping for a different outcome.
Yeah, I thought I could change that dude's fate, yo. I wanted to save Simba from that tragedy. How tall was that dresser, by the way? Because in my memory, it was like really big, but I don't think it was.
No,
in real life.
it was maybe 3 feet.
Okay, because I remember for some reason in my memory, I remember being like 2 or 3 drawers high.
It was 2 drawers high, I believe.
Okay.
So it was like 1, 2 drawers, and then that's where the TV sat.
Maybe in my little baby brain, it felt like super high up.
Yeah, I just remember your bed was right next to the TV, your little bed, and I would lay in your bed to watch movies all the time in that room. And I would use my foot. I would put my foot up and use my foot to turn on the TV and change the channels.
Nice. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I feel like I have so many memories of you and I laying on the floor in the exact same position, like with our hands above our head, like and our feet like crossed, just like watching TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Watched a lot of TV.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that I was doing that at such a young age, I feel like it means I probably had the capacity to like do something really great with my life, you know. And then I just did a bunch of drugs and alcohol and messed up my whole life. So stay in school, kids.
Yeah, stay in school. Don't do too many drugs and alcohol.
Yeah, just do it a couple times.
Moderation.
Just try it out, you know.
I didn't do any. He did a lot. Yeah.
That's so funny. But yeah, let's see. I actually wanted to add a section with fun facts, Eric, but I didn't look any up. Do you have any fun facts about Lilo and Stitch?
Fun facts about Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah.
No, I think a few facts I knew I already said. There used to be that Stitch like ride or like encounter at Disney World. Remember that?
Oh right, yeah. That was a fun ride. It was the alien encounter before, no? Which I guess technically still is the alien encounter.
It's just an alien. So originally it was supposed to be like the xenomorph alien. They had some deal work with Fox and it didn't work out. So they just changed it to like some generic alien. Did you go on that ride, by the way, the alien?
Yeah, I did. I think it was like the last year before they changed it. And it was scary, yo.
That was terrifying.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you feel it breathing down your neck and stuff.
Yeah, I think I was too young to be on it.
I don't think you should have been on it if you were.
I think I was like 6.
Yeah. And then they replaced it with Stitch, which was still a little scary, but mostly, you know,
it's fun and
friendly. And he burps in your face, smells like chili cheese dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never liked those scented things and those like sprays stuff.
That room never smelled normal. Like you walk in, you already smell it. You're like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah. Like at Universal, every ride sprays you almost. Like every ride that isn't a roller coaster, they spray you.
The banana.
I'm like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah.
Come on, man. Why you gotta spit on me at every ride? That's what it feels like. Someone's just like that.
Oh, yeah. At least they spray water on you in Jurassic Park, right? Like,
yeah. Spider-Man, fucking.
Oh yeah, they throw Hydro Man.
Yeah, Hydro Man. Yeah.
I do like Stan Lee cameo in that.
Oh, me too. And Arya recognizes who Stan Lee is now, so like we're watching a bunch of Marvel movies now, and so every time Stan Lee pops up, she's like, Stan Lee! And then nice. She's been playing the Spider-Man game.
Oh yeah.
And there was a cameo, and I didn't know he was in it. There was a cameo where he's like a waiter.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, Stan Lee! She's like, Dad, Stan Lee! I was like, what?
Nice.
All right, I got some fun facts here. So the backgrounds in the original. These are fun facts about the original movie. By the way, I just typed in fun facts about Lilo and Stitch, and they gave me the original movie facts.
There'll probably be better facts about that one.
Yeah. So here you go. The backgrounds are painted in watercolor, which I thought was kind of obvious, but just in case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're painted in watercolor, and they're the first backgrounds to be painted in watercolor since Dumbo. Dumbo was the last one to be painted with watercolor. Yeah, so that's...
I didn't mind the Dumbo live action. I thought it was all right.
You know, I don't think I ever saw it.
Like, hardly anyone did. Tim Burton did that one, too.
Mm. You know, I kind of have a bone to pick with Tim Burton.
Yeah?
I love Tim Burton. I love him. He's such a auteur. You know, he is so like him, and I love that. Mm-hmm. But when Tim Burton first started making movies, he used to like really shit on mainstream media.
Yeah,
and like he used to be like, yeah, I'm so different. You know, like people just don't understand me and my films because I'm just so weird and different from all of you posers and losers and mainstream fucks, you know? And then he goes and starts making all these mainstream movies. Like, what a sellout.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Stay true to yourself. Anyways, Tim Burton's going to come after me now. I hope he does, because I just want to talk to him.
Well, his fans will come after you, probably.
Yeah, it's okay. I do love him. Just so you guys know, I do love him very much. And Sweeney Todd's actually my favorite musical.
Love Sweeney Todd.
Anyways, more fun facts. Hidden Mickeys. I guess there's some hidden Mickeys throughout the movie. I don't think I saw any. I've seen the movie a lot, so I'm thinking I'm going to look out for them next time. Oh, and there's there's something about Elvis here. So the soundtrack includes Elvis Presley songs, and the film was seen as a revival vehicle for his music, which makes sense.
That's cool.
I think that's part of the reason why I got into Elvis, to be quite honest, because I don't think a lot of people in our family really listen to Elvis, besides my auntie Sonia.
Yeah, no, not really.
So yeah, I think that was actually probably the big reason I got into Elvis. But I will say in this live action movie, they kind of took out a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, they did.
I don't know why. Do you think that was? I'm assuming it was intentional. I will say they did include a lot more Hawaiian culture in it. Maybe perhaps they didn't see Elvis as being like a pivotal cultural icon.
Yeah.
For Hawaiian culture, so they just replaced it with more Hawaiian songs.
Could be.
Let's see. Oh, Cobra Bubbles was inspired by Jules from Pulp Fiction.
That makes sense.
That does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Now it makes sense as to why he had hair before.
Yeah.
He got rid of them Jerry curls.
No, there's a weird thing happening here, like a weird conspiracy that could be like maybe he still is. He is Jules from Pulp Fiction. Maybe there's
he was wandering the earth, right? That's what he was planning on.
Yeah, right. You're right, dude.
Hey, that's canon now. That's my head canon.
Yep, that's canon. So you're gonna be a bum.
See you, I must go. I know I'm a good friend. Move away, my eyes.
So sorry, Mr. Wallace. And audience, Josh got this wrong. Cobra Bubbles was inspired by Ving Rhames' portrayal of Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction, not the character Jules. And he even voiced Bubbles in the movie as well.
So that was just the first ones that popped up. So there you go, some fun facts. Do you want to move on to the next section, which is final thoughts? But I feel like we've kind of just been talking about Lilo and Stitch the whole time. So
most of us just been talking about Lilo and Stitch. I don't really have any final thoughts other than I did enjoy the film. I didn't hate it. Thought it was fun. So, yeah.
Yeah. I will say Arya, she rated it really well. I asked her to rate it before I gave her any of my opinions. I didn't want my opinion to skew her answer.
Yeah.
And she rated it as an 8. She gave it an 8 out of 10.
Is it mean?
And yep. But then Natalie and I proceeded to talk about the movie and then kind of proceeded to just shit all over it.
Yeah.
And she slowly started to change. She's like, okay, I'll give it a 7. I was okay. And then like later on, she's like, actually, I'll give it a 6. And I was like, okay, all right. My bad, dude. I didn't mean to like shit on your parade, you know?
We talked about Madam Web, how bad it was. But when I saw it, I went with Brandon and took Nora, his daughter, and she actually liked it. She enjoyed the female superheroes and spider people, so she enjoyed the film. I thought it was terrible. I didn't say anything while I was taking them home, but me and her dad shit on that film all the time.
That's so funny.
I didn't want to ruin it for her.
Yeah. I think next time maybe Natalie will just wait to talk about it. But after talking about it in front of Arya, and she had just watched the original movie with us the night before, so she was like, you know what? Yeah, you know what? Oh, okay. She was like kind of was picking up on it. Yeah.
No, is Snow White. Because you remember I told you I saw it. When I saw it, I didn't think it was like too terrible. Like it was. I thought, yeah. No one really swayed me, but I was just thinking about that film like all of the next day. I just getting madder and madder. Like I was just so mad at like everything they did and everything they did wrong. And I was like, this movie is actually really bad. Like there are like a little bit like little tiny like gems in it that are cool, that are nice.
Yeah.
But other than that, like it is so bad. It is a bad movie.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, there's so many movies that I do that with where like I'll watch it and then I'll just spend like a whole day thinking about it, and I don't have my final take on it until like a day's passed. Because there's some movies where I've seen it and like I didn't really get it. I didn't really, and then I'll start thinking about it. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is good, like.
No.
Like Sinners was kind of like that. I mean, I liked Sinners immediatly after I saw it, but like after like a day or two of thinking about it, I was like, "Damn, this is really good,"
Yeah, it's real good. I love that movie. I think we will talk about it at some point. I know people will keep asking. Like, we should talk about Sinners.
I think we've mentioned it in every episode.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But all right, that's been about an hour. If you want to wrap it up, if you got anything more to say.
Do it.
All right.
No, if you have kids, take them. They'll like it. That's it.
I agree. If I hope I didn't sway anyone's opinions too much by kind of shitting on the movie. It's a good family movie. If you want to go take your children to go see it, I think I would recommend to go take your kids. It's fun. They'll have fun.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for watching. What are we watching review next? Oh, we're doing a bonus episode. Watch out. We got things coming out, son. We're going to be doing a bonus episode. That's coming out next.
It's releasing on June 5th.
June 5th. Yeah. That's the bonus episode. Should we tell them what it is or should we surprise them?
It's up to you. I don't care. Either way.
I'll see how I feel by the time we record the next episode.
Okay.
Actually, I'll be too late, so we'll just leave a surprise.
All right, it's a surprise. But what is the like official next episode?
That's a good question. Karate Kid?
Karate Kid. Yeah.
The Karate Kid.
I know this may come as a surprise. I know a lot of people are surprised by some of the movies I say I've never seen. I haven't seen the original Karate Kid, at least not all of it. I've seen parts. I've never sat down and watched all of the original Karate Kid. The only Karate Kid movies I've seen is the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank and the Karate Kid with Jaden Smith. Those are the only ones I've seen.
Really? Those are the only two?
Only two I've seen, yeah.
Dang, you got some homework, Eric.
Yeah, so I'll definitely watch the original before I watch the next one. But, yeah, that's what the next episode's going to be. So.
I wouldn't say Karate Kid 2 is necessary homework. Just the original Karate Kid.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I probably won't watch the Jaden Smith one, even though I know Jackie Chan's character is introduced in it. I've seen it once. I think that's fine. I know who Jackie Chan's character is.
I actually like that movie a lot. I just don't like the name of it. Because it should be the Kung Fu Kid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which I think people still would want to go see it. You have to call it the Karate Kid just because you want people to go see it. So, did you watch Cobra Kai at all?
I've only seen that first episode when you were here and you watched it.
I like Cobra Kai, but I will say it got mad redundant and repetitive. And it's like, how many fucking bullies are there, yo? Jesus Christ, son. Everybody's a fucking bully now? Like, come on, bro. The whole town, at this point, the whole town is a fucking bully. Like, everybody's beefing with everybody. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. So I haven't really watched it. But I watched up to, like, season 4 or 5. I forget.
Now, did it start to get redundant when it made the switch from YouTube to Netflix?
No, I actually liked the Netflix version of it for, I think, because I don't know how long. I don't know when the switch happened, actually. So
I think it was season 2. I think it might have been after season 2. Right?
Yeah. So, because I think the first season was on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I actually liked the first, 3 seasons. After that, it started to get really redundant.
Okay.
Good. But I wouldn't really say it's necessary homework. I mean, I know.
Well, what's his name? Zabka?
Daniel. Zabka.
He's not in the new one, right? And
I don't think so.
What Cobra Kai's about is his character.
Yeah, I mean Ralph Macchio's in the show, but and he's in this movie. I don't know if they're gonna make any ties to the show. I have no idea.
I don't think they are, but even if they did, I don't think it'll matter too much.
I mean, they might, because I noticed that the set that they're using for Ralph Macchio's character when he's just chilling, it's the same set from Cobra Kai.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also the same set design as Mr. Miyagi's house, because that's where the first movie takes place. So, and I guess he got passed down to Daniel LaRusso, which is his name in the movie.
Daniel.
So maybe that's just the connection there. I don't know if they're connecting the show at all, but we'll find out.
Yeah, we will. All right.
So, see you, everybody. Join us on the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Peace.